All right, so today I wanted to do some in-depth commentary on the current progress of 150 star TAS. So I'm going to be going like in slow motion through every star, talking about like most of the strats, at least everything that I can explain. And I've kind of wanted to do this since the previous work in progress 3 years ago. We had 19 stars, but I never really got around to it. And then today I was like, oh, I should do this at some point. And that was a great time to do it, I think. So because even a lot of the stars from the previous work in progress have been changed too a little bit. So yeah, it was good to see that. Let's see, anything else? I think that's everything for now. I'm not doing this with like no script, so we'll see how it goes. Okay. So there's actually something that's surprising. Let's see. Should we turn up a little bit? Hopefully that's better now. Okay. Yeah, so something surprising even on the just title screen. So we're actually going to change the sound settings to stereo. And this, so Rupa found recently that this makes all of the loads faster by like 1 frame. So over the course of the whole run, this will save time. We save like 1 frame per load. So basically, you know, every star pretty much has 2 loads on average. So we'll save what? 150 times 2 frames over the whole course. This only takes about 1 second to do. So we switch the sound to stereo. When the sound is cool. We'll start the run. Then I'll just fast forward through the intro.
Come to the castle.
And let's see, how does the volume of the game compare? I have the speed and Y run visible here. I thought those were probably the most 2 useful averages to see. I feel like it's probably loud, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Won't be hearing it much though because we'll be pausing. But yeah. Yeah, it's probably fine here. Okay, so mode skip was changed. We're going to start this run by going to the mode door without draining the modes. So Rupa started this, made a new version of this mode skip with a jump at the beginning. So a lot of times it's faster to jump at the beginning of movements. And the reason why is when you hit the ground. So we're at 33,000 speed now, 36,000. So every time you're in the air, you get 3,000 speed. But when you land, you get a huge boost in speed. So we went from 36,000 to 52,000. And then we go all the way to 69,000. So we get about 16,000 speed on 2 frames when you land. So in some cases, it's faster to start by jumping. And it really depends on where you're trying to go. Depends on the spacing of where you end up. Yeah, I'm going to try to explain a lot. So yeah. So after that jump, then the fastest movement is going to be long jumps, right? Long jumps are faster in many cases. And I guess I'll also explain no input long jumps too. So look at our speed here. So when you're in a long jump or in the air in general, and you hold in the center of the touchscreen, or just if you're using D-pad, just no input, then that means you're going to lose 2,000 speed on every frame. And otherwise, if you don't do that, then you lose 6,000 speed on every frame. So this preserves speed a little bit faster. Okay, and then to climb this slope, we'll do a bunch of slide kicks. So this part I don't know too well. I mean, the slide kicks also we hold in the center during the rollout here, because whenever you're above max Yoshi's max airspeed, which is 121,000. Oh, sorry, for Yoshi it's 108,000. So whenever you're above that speed, you can hold in the center and preserve a little more of it. So these slide kicks, as long as you start the slide kick soon enough when you land, and also roll out as soon as possible, then you can keep on climbing slopes that are very steep like this. And then when we get to the top, we can do a slide kick and gain even more speed. So we get all the way to the max sliding speed, which is 409,000. This also, you can think of this as, a lot of the speed values in this game, you can sort of think of them as 4096 times like their true value. So these you can also think of this as being 100 speed. So that's the max speed. And then here we do a down warp glitch, Heaven's Portal, which I also definitely am not going to explain because that would take way too long for now. But there's a video you can find that explains us how to do it. So we down warp to the moat, bottom here. And then here, so the fastest movement in the moat is just walking. If you jump or long jump or anything, then you're going to hit the water and then start swimming. So you don't want to do that. Here we're actually doing frame sliding. So what's going on is, right, when you have enough speed, if you hold backwards, then you will slide back, do like a slide. But then if you slide for one frame and then press nothing, so here we're pulling backwards and then we press nothing, we actually kind of resets your movement for a little bit, and you keep the same speed and angle. And so this makes the movement, you can just keep on doing this over and over. So this is called frame sliding, because you only slide for one frame. Yeah, it makes the movement look kind of funny. So it's just a same speed as just normal walking, but it just looks cooler. That was tasked mostly by Adil and Rupa. Okay, so now we get to the basement. We start with a backflip onto the pillar. It's the fastest way of getting like vertical speed. We want to pound the pillars because it'll lower the water. That'll make movement through this room a lot faster. And also to gain speed from here, you can actually do a jump out of the water, which we're not seeing. Yeah, there it goes. So when you do a jump out of water, you immediately gain 73,000 speed. So that's a pretty fast way of getting speed. Okay. And here's the first instance of building Y run. So we're holding Y now and we're doing like a fun little turn. But as long as you hold towards the center of touching, you'll build Y run. And so we do 2 frames of using Y run. Let me actually have a save state to reload that. I don't think I do. Oh no, here we go. Okay. Let's watch that a little closer. This is the first time doing Y run. I want to explain it a little more. Okay, so there. So once you've built up Y run for 1 second, you'll get the Y run timer turns into 30. And you can hold outside, hold it towards the edge of the touch screen, and or the edge of the circle, and you get the 30 Y run. And then when you have 0 speed, like right now, you can really change your angle a lot. So we do that here. Change our angle to moving the direction we want to go, and then it consumes 1 Y run, and we also get 122,000 speed. So that's the maximum acceleration you can get when you have Y run, which is a lot of acceleration. But it's actually not the max Y run speed. And Yoshi's max Y run speed is 157,000. So he takes 2 uses of Y run, 2 frames of walking or running to get this max speed. We want to get this max speed because that'll transfer into long jump speed, right? Whenever you, so first we slide here. So we're going to do a long jump soon, but because of spacing, we want to actually start the long jump later. And so we press R here. So I pressed R, it's gone now, but we're holding R. Or we pressed R once, and that starts a crouch. So when you crouch, you preserve the same facing angle as you had before, and you also preserve your speed, and you most importantly preserve a Y run. So this allows you to move a little bit without consuming more Y run. So Y run only gets depleted if you actually run. Okay. But after a few frames of sliding, then we're going to start the long jump by just pressing B. I guess normally, when you're playing the game normally, you would press R before pressing B when doing a long jump. But when tassing, usually you press them at the same time. But this is the case when you don't want to do that. Okay, then when starting a long jump, we get this speed of 235,000, and that's the speed we had when running multiplied by 1.5. So that's why I want to have a large speed um, before starting a long jump, because that'll increase the amount of speed you get when starting a long jump. Okay, so then we can do neutral long jump here, and when you get to 196,000, which is Yoshi's normal max long jump speed, then you can hold up. Okay, so we'd slide again down here, long jump over water. So right here, if the water was up, then we would be a lot slower here. Then we'll do some water jumps here. It's faster than swimming because we can spend more time in the air while the water lowers. And figuring out exactly how long to hold and release B during these jumps was actually kind of annoying. At least for the first jump. The second one, you just hold B the whole time. And here's a really fun glitch. So we want to, for this glitch, we want to get a big difference in motion and facing angles. And when you have a smaller speed, then speed so small that you can't slide backwards, you can actually change your angle faster. So I don't have the angle watch up right now. It's not too important really, but we have a low speed, like 90,000 is the highest you can get while being able to change your angles fast. So this just consumes Y run 2. So we spend a few frames turning around, and when you turn around, your motion angle changes a lot faster than facing angle. So after a few frames, the motion angle is very different from the facing angle. And importantly, now our motion angle is going up the slope, and facing angle is going down the slope. And so normally you can't long jump on this slope if you're facing upwards, but if you're facing downwards, you can. So right now we are facing down the slope, but our motion angle is actually going up the slope. So we can long jump up the slope by doing it. And the cool thing is we actually land immediately after doing a long jump. So we can stay at some really high speed here and do these long jumps up the slope. This was found by Really Tall. It's really cool. We call it sideways long jumping. And then when we get to the top, we can do a side flip. Let's see. Yeah, the side flip it was kind of hard to optimize, but it's not too crazy. Do one more frame if I were to get to the door here. Okay, so for this area, we're going to Hazy Maze Cave first. And so we're going to start with some more. Do we do frames? No, we don't do any frames anymore. So yeah, Rupa improved this movement as well over the last time. So we just run for a few frames and then do a glitchy long jump here. So this is similar to what we did before, where there's a big difference in motion facing angles for this long jump. And when the difference between motion facing angles gets big enough, you can actually get high speed during long jump. So this right now is not super high speed, but as we keep on turning backwards more and more, we can actually get higher and higher speed. So our speed's increasing even though we're moving further, our motion angle keeps on getting further and further away from how we're facing. So now we actually have max long jump speed at a really weird angle like this. And then when landing, we can also instantly be facing the direction we were. Right. So another thing that happens when your facing angle is very different from your motion angle. When you land, your facing angle can get set to your motion angle. So that's what happened here. So it's a landing angle reset, and then we can do one more long jump to land here faster, and then run to the door. So yeah, this movement was improved a little recently. We used to do just a jump to the door, and now this is better. Okay, and then for getting into HMC, pretty simple. We can slide on this banister to get some speed and follow. So the reason why we even start with HMC, I think I should probably talk about that. We'll see later on, but basically the first main reason is we can't enter the door. We can't start in the lobby because we need to catch the rabbit, and that's too slow. We can completely skip that. But there's a lot of fast stars in the basement. The main reason why we choose Hazy Maze Cave is because there are enough stars that are actually fastest to do purely as Yoshi. Or there's one that we do that's technically faster as Mario, I think now. But we need to do enough stars as Yoshi in the beginning anyway. But the other thing is we can cancel some stars and skip star texts. So this first star we choose is one that we can collect while dying. So we're gonna do Y-run again. Whenever there's a door you have to go through, Y-run's usually good because after going through the door you can instantly accelerate. So okay, we've seen this sort of movement. I don't have to explain that again. So we're gonna get the star on the platform, the game's emergency exit, and to that we just do triple jump, get up here, ledge grab, and long jump in here. So here's the star cancel. So we get to a specific position and then use Y-run to reduce the speed down to 0. So one other really nice thing about Y-run is not only can you accelerate really fast, you can decelerate really fast. And the nice thing about having 0 speed is that you can change your angle really fast, as I mentioned before. So changing angle really fast is another really nice thing about Y-run. And we specifically want to change our angle so that we can go towards the pit. So we walk towards the pit, but still facing, sort of facing the star. And after a few frames of jumping, we can barely tongue the star and fall into the pit. So the star is collected as soon as it appears over your head when you finish the eating animation. So we have 1 star, but by falling to the pit, barely also, we just barely got past the wall there. We skip the celebration, so it saves a little bit of time. And also, normally there is a star text when you collect 1 star, but by dying, we don't, since the celebration skipped, we skip that star text. And this is the best way to skip that star text for the 150 star route. So this is one reason why Izumi Escape is faster than the other options. Okay, so now for the second star, we can do one where that you don't have to cancel. So we're doing glitchy long jumps again. Right, so our motion angle is very different from facing angle, though we can still get high speed. And it's nice because this allows us to curve movement while doing long jumps a lot without losing as much speed as you would do if you're doing normal facing forwards long jumps. If you face forwards, then you have to, every time you land, if you want to change angle, you have to spend a few frames walking. But when doing glitchy longs, you can change your angle in midair without losing too much speed, or without losing any speed really, without losing too much time. So because this walkway is kind of curvy, it's better to do that here. Okay, and then we're doing some more tricky glitchy long jumps. So here we're facing forwards, and we're kind of changing our motion angle to more forwards. So it's not too crazy there. So here's a block clip. Again, we're charging Y-run here because we're about to ground pound, and it'll help to gain speed after the ground pound. So by zooming in with the X button, we can actually unload the block for a little bit of time, and that's enough to clip through it. So we do ground pound to gain a lot of downward speed because the block is not unloaded for very long. But with enough downward speed, we can get through it, and we can land from the switch. So normally you'd need Wario to break the block and get the switch, but we can do it like this. Now to actually get up there, a faster method is to eat this scuttlebug, then do a triple jump, and then we can spit out the scuttlebug, and then after you finish the spitting animation, there's 1 frame where you can jump. So this is a really nice thing. A lot of animations in this game, after you finish them, there's 1 frame where you can jump. And we've been using that a lot, so this is the first time, I think. And that means we can get enough height to get to this switch star. There we go. So I want to mention that I think this star is actually faster So, okay, so we're not going to get all the stars in this level right now because we can't, right? We need Mario to be fast. We need the other characters to get all the stars fast. I guess we actually need Wario for one of them. Yeah. But we are going to come back to this stage as Yoshi. So even though there are some stars that are not faster as Yoshi, we're not going to really get here with other characters. When we come here later with Yoshi, we can use the caps on the star select screen. So this star, Yoshi doesn't really save any time in it. Like, the spit jump is nice, but Mario can do a triple jump wall kick to get up there, which is pretty much the same amount of time. So this star is actually faster as Mario, but we're not going to get a chance to do it as Mario. We have to use the cap. Now, even besides that, I think it was found recently that even with the cap animation, it's faster to do this as Mario, but it's only by a few frames. And that actually makes it still faster to get as Yoshi because of something that I'll explain way later. We need to get a certain number of stars as Yoshi early on. Yeah. So there's star 2. We didn't cancel it. There's no 2-star text, so we don't have to. There's no star text skip here. But for the 3-star, there is a 3-star text after the 3rd star, so we'll need to. What am I trying to say? Yeah, we need to do a star that we can cancel here. So we're doing another block up here, and now instead of just hitting a switch, we're going to do some C movement. So it's really hard to tell what's going on. We're kind of walking on the out of bounds on the edge of the seam of this floor. So most floors in this game extend out of bounds by like 1 unit or something. It varies between floors, but it's pretty precise. But with the touchscreen movement, it's not too hard to usually get the right angle. It takes some work, but it's not too bad. So we're doing this out of bounds movement. We can do this really cool flutter jump under the floor to get to this seam here. Then another long jump to get to this seam here. And then get a long jump to get some height onto this seam. And now we're going to do a giant long jump. And let me see if I can, give me a minute here. Let's see if I can get the graphics to load. So when the graphics in other rooms are not loaded, but there are some hacks I can use to force them to load. Let me see if I can find the right ones. I don't really know. Let's see. Jumping. So we're making our way all the way down to the room before Metalhead Warrior can move star. We need to actually open the door to that room to get the star. So there's something down there. Again, I want maybe it's earlier one. Let's see. Oh, I guess that was the one we wanted, actually. Yeah, hold on. Is it this one? No, that's just the cavern one. Let's see if I can find it. No, that's that room. So, well, all right, fine. I'm not finding it, but that's fine. We're basically long jumping past the gate in front of the door. It's supposed to open with the switch. And let's see, assume we're basically right in front of the door. So here's the door to the, yeah, so there's the gate that also just loaded in. So even though the doors, also objects in rooms that aren't loaded are not there, but fortunately the door is there. The door is just collision. I'm not completely sure about all the details of how this works, but we need to, by opening this door, now the room with the star is loaded. So if we just went straight to the star wouldn't be there. We need to open the door, now the star's there. And so we're again going to use the same strategy for canceling that first star. We get 0 speed using Y run, and then quickly change the angle to going back to the pit. We can jump and then barely eat the star and then fall into the pit. So again, this skip the celebration and also skips the star text. So we specifically need to do those 2 stars as the first and third star. And we're gonna get 1 more star in this level. So the last 2 stars we did were definitely faster as Yoshi because of the star cancel. These 2 will be faster as other characters, but because we're only going to ever be to this level as Yoshi, they're faster as Yoshi. Because otherwise it'd have to be cap animations. So we're going to clip through this brick and now do a long jump all the way down to the room. Let's see, hopefully that was this one, right? Yeah, there we go. So again, we're going to open the door to the big cavern room here. And this wire cap is always there. And we can break the boulder for this star. And this star is also recently improved by, I think, 1 frame by Rupa. So all the other stars in this level are too slow to get now. We need other characters to be fast. So we're done here, and we're gonna just exit back to the lobby. So this, the lobby movement here, which goes to the 1-star door, is also another one where it's faster to jump at the beginning to gain a little more speed. Then we do some kind of precise movements. So we have very specific angles here with those longer jumps to avoid bonking on the platform just landed on and also actually land on there. And then the rest is not too bad. So here's another mid-air jump. When just landing from any move, if you fall off the platform you landed on, you can have 1 frame to do some jump. Once the landing animation finishes. So we're doing that here again. So it just allows us to have a slightly better angle going to the door. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to skip the 8-star door, so it's more out-of-bounds movements. So we charge Y-run, because we're going to have to get 0 speed. And then this corner is a weird glitchy corner. There's a bunch of these throughout many places in the game. And this one you can, if you do a slide kick through, you can clip through and land on the seam. And now we're going to do more seam movement like back in HMC. So we're also doing more mid-air jumps, and this is a kind of different type of mid-air jump. When you're out of bounds, you can actually just walk in mid-air in many cases. As long as your Y position is above 0, so it just depends on like how the coordinate system works in whatever area you are. Then you can walk in midair when you're out of bounds. Very nice. It helps. If it weren't for that, C movement would be way harder. So there's some cases where we want to be able to do C movement in places where you can't walk out of bounds. But this is nice here. So. Oh yeah, so let me load this room as well. Gotta get this right. Yeah. So, okay, now we can't really see Yoshi, but... Oh, that's right, I guess that one's actually not very useful to see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we land barely on this floor here, and then can long jump into the Mario painting. We actually get pushed inbounds. It's slightly faster for some reason. Yeah. So this allows us to unlock Mario with as few as 1 star, but yeah, we got a few more stars because more for something else anyway. Okay, so for this Mario stage, it's always a slide kick taking a lot of speed, and we can keep a lot of the speed by doing jump. Let's see, I don't bother explaining this. Okay, so here, we're going to eat a Lucky 2, then do a side flip, and make an egg during the side flip. And this is another action which will give us 1 frame to jump after this. So we need to get 0 speed when making that egg, and then that allows us to do a backflip onto the pole. Now, if you decrease your speed to below 40,000 let me reload this just to show that. Actually, I don't know if I trust this. Let's just do this. So we had less than 40,000 speed before hitting the pole. That means we can instantly jump off it. And then we also hit the wall. It's kind of hard to tell, but we hit a wall to get our speed back. Oh, sorry, I guess it's now hitting the wall. Yeah. To get our speed back to facing the pole. And then we can do another jump off the pole. So that allows us to climb the pole pretty fast. Now it's time for another side long jump, or SLJ. So we're gonna spin around to get, this is pretty much the same thing as what we did in the basement. Spin around to get a big difference between motion facing angles. So right now, it seems like we're facing to the right, but we're actually facing very slightly towards the camera by probably, I think, only like 1 degree or something, maybe less. And that means we're facing downhill technically, so we can long jump on this slope. So we do lots of long jumps in succession. And we can just keep doing these sideways long jumps all the way to the loading zone here. So because we brought an egg into the fight, we can pretty much skip the whole first phase. But, I mean, the entire fight's basically skipped. You don't have to run around at all. You can just grab the Goombas from behind him. And since you have to wait for him to transform between phases, there's some play around here. Now at the very end, we're going to do another mid-air thing. There's just so many of this. It's such a nice, useful glitch. So we spit out the Goomba, and then on this frame, the game thinks we're standing on ground. There's this one frame where you can jump, but also in general, you can just stand in midair. And that means the text for defeating Goombas can actually happen, even when we're midair. So the game kind of sort of expects you to be on ground before starting a text, but it doesn't actually check for that. It just checks for this, well, it checks for, the game thinks you're on ground, basically. So the text does work. And the nice thing about that is since we're not only are we not on ground, we're also not even over the ground, we can press A to lick the key while falling out of bounds really fast. And this is important because if we just got the key, we'd actually be stuck in the room with Mario's painting. I think it's also faster, just also skip the celebration. Okay, so now we can unlock Mario. We're using Wyron again because after we unlock Mario, we'll have 0 speed. So we want to have speed afterwards. But we're switching back to Yoshi because it turns out that it's better to do a lot of stars as Yoshi early on. But we do have Mario Cap to unlocked to do some stars that otherwise we would be able to do fast as Yoshi. So now for time for the slide. Again, we start with a jump there and then do a long jump. And the reason why I did that is so we could start the slide with long jump speed. If we just started with long jump, the spacing does not work out for Yoshi to start the slide with a big speed. Also, we have to avoid coins. I don't think I've mentioned that yet because it hasn't really been relevant, but whenever you collect a star and have a celebration, the coins, when they count up, it actually takes 1 frame per coin. So many times, sometimes it's not, if there's just 1 coin away, it's not gonna really matter, usually. If it costs a frame to avoid, it doesn't matter. But when there's a big line of coins like that, if it only costs 1 frame to avoid the whole line, then we're gonna do that. And I think that's exactly what happens in this case. I think it's just 1 frame slower to avoid that line. But so we lose 1 frame, but then we gain 5 frames because you don't have to watch the coins count up afterwards. Okay, so here's a clip coming up. It's pretty precise, but there's not much to explain. It's just like some missing collision here. It's a tiny gap. So when clipping, we can do a jump and fall all the way to the end. And then we press A to tongue, and this resets the fall distance so we don't take fall damage or don't like completely lose all our speed here. And then we can just finish the slide. We get a time of 1073, although you can't see it because I have the full game timer going up here. So also I should mention, there's 2 stars in here, and it really does matter which one we get. We're going to get the other one as Mario, and the other one is, the box star is actually faster to get as Mario. That'll be very close to the end of the run, but since we're going to be Mario for the other star, we have to get, that one's faster as Mario. This one doesn't really matter much, but we want to get this one as Yoshi for that reason. Okay, so charging my run again, because I'm going to go through a door. So we're going to Jolly Roger Bay now because it's sort of on our way to upstairs, and that'll explain. You'll see why that is afterwards at the end. So having the Mario cap here with Yoshi is really, really good. There's a bunch of stars that we need this shell for to be fast. So this box has a shell you need to have, so Yoshi can't break that block. Any other character can. So Mario's one we use here as fastest anyway. But we specifically have to be Yoshi with a Mario cap because we want to eat the shell. And that way we can get on it while we're in the water. And I don't think I'll explain this whole glitch here, but we can lay the shell down on the water. That normally when you spit out a shell, it'll go really fast, but by doing that, by spitting it right on the ground or on the water surface in this case, it doesn't go fast; it just stays there. Then we can actually ride it, and by doing this, by starting by riding the shell in water, the game sort of still thinks we're underwater in some sense. So then when entering water, now we can walk underwater. Yeah, that explanation was really bad. But it's not the point is we did the glitch with the shell, that when we leave the shell we can then do normal movement underwater and skip swimming. Yeah, so we also stayed on the shell a little bit longer than necessary there because the shell movement's faster than other movement. Shell movement's pretty fast. And then we can barely get into here without drinking the eel. And then we just have swimming. I don't think I'll explain swimming too much because I don't know if anyone in this game, who's any TASer of this game, really understands how swimming works, to be honest. I certainly can't explain it too well. Swimming is pretty weird. And then some pretty standard movement up to here. So this star, I think, is maybe still faster as Luigi. We're gonna take another trip to this course as Luigi. Yeah. But we need to get the star because it's necessary to get this one in order to do the red coin star. And we want to do that one as Yoshi. So we're gonna do the same water storage glitch to walk underwater. Slightly different movement this time. We break the shell earlier. That allows us to start this long jump closer to the star. And so this is also very precise to just long jump all the way through the bubble column. Like, it looks like you can just do it, but it's really precise. There's a much easier way to do it with You can just walk under there and then use Yoshi's tongue to grab the star, but this is a little bit faster. So now that we have 7 stars, it's time for 100 coin. And the reason why we wait for it to be the 8 star specifically is because there's also an 8 star text. And we can skip that text. But first, this is probably one of the best stars, probably easily best star so far. One of the best stars in the whole run, I think. So we're going to do water storage again. But before that, we're going to hit the blue coin switch, get those 3 coins from the brick, and then do this water storage switch. Right? So we can grab the blue coins while in the shell. And when breaking the shell again, we'll get this movement underwater. So this will make getting all these underwater coins a lot faster. So we grab the Mario cap here because Mario's movement is faster. So we can do a wall jump. I mean, clicking this, I just love this coin ring, right? Like normally it's kind of annoying to get all those coins with swimming, but with that wall jump, it's just so much cooler. So we have to wait for the climb to open, so we slow down a little bit when doing this long jump. And now to climb back up, we're going to do, this is the first instance of a punch trick. So I guess there's 2 things going on here. One, when you punch immediately after long jumping, you can preserve all your speed, and you can just do this up slopes. But also, you can't normally punch at a high speed, right? If you have high speed on your underground, you press A, you're going to dive. So, and if you're holding B and you press A, then you're going to kick. The way around that is to just press A and B for 1 frame. Sort of went over, skipped it over. It'll happen later on in the star, I'm pretty sure. So we can do these punches to not fall off the edge or fall down the slope, and then we do 1 kick here. And now to continue going up the slope, we're going to do frame sliding again. So again, frame sliding is another thing you can do besides those punching and kicking, where you just will not fall down the slope. And I think the slope is too steep to do slide kicks on. You can do slide kicks on pretty steep slopes, but this one's a little too much. So then when we get to this corner in the collision here, we do a side flip to gain height fast and go on to this other piece of collision. And this one is not so steep, so we can do slide kicks on it. Okay, so here this movement looks pretty normal, but it's also very, very precise to get all these coins while going on this rock thing. So here we're again going to do the punch trick. And let me show that more slowly. So we're holding B during the long jump, and then when landing, we're going to press A and hold B for 1 frame, and then let go of A and B. Actually, you can hold A, but as long as you let go of B, then you will do a punch. So that's how you can punch with any speed, and it allows you to also like go up slopes. So here, instead of frame sliding, we'll just do a few more kicks to get up. Grab this coin, barely land onto here. So one other thing worth mentioning about kicking is that whenever you land with a kick, if your motion and facing angles aren't exactly the same, then you'll go down to 0 speed. So that's also something that for all those kicks before, we had to make sure that we had the same exact motion facing angles. Alright, we do a side flip and a dive, or sorry, not dive, just a pole jump to get that red coin. So there's another kick here. We have to make sure that motion facing angles were the same. Okay. So here we're doing more frame sliding just for fun. It's not really important. We're skipping this 1 coin. This 1 coin is not necessary, and it turned out to be the slowest coin to get because we had 1 extra on this route. So we can do kicks. Kicks are nice if you want to just cross a small gap. With a kick, you can maintain your normal walking speed, right, of 147,000 as Mario. And the ship is barely low enough for us to do just a single jump with a kick to grab this coin. Another kick here, right? All these kicks are very annoying to make sure. I guess that one's not too bad because we're already going in a straight line. So this is one of the most precise things in the whole run so far. So we barely grabbed that coin with the long jump. We also barely grabbed this coin too. Like we're so low and we're going so much further away from the camera than this coin. But crazy thing is we can actually do a wall jump off here. I really don't think anyone really understands exactly why it's possible here. It's because of the weird corner on the ship here. So we can do a wall jump and grab the 100 coin star. Also worth mentioning that when you get the last red coin to make 100 coins, then both stars spawn at once. If I had a good explanation for how exactly that worked, then yeah, I'd maybe go through it, but it was such a pain to get this to work. Yeah, that was found by Really Tall. I don't think she knows like exactly why it works. Okay, so we just got our 8th star, and so normally we get another text box here, but we can do immediately when gaining control. Let's find the frame. We can do a jump, so we just press B there, and that will skip the text for 8 stars. So that's why we needed to get the 100 coin star as the 8th star. Okay, now we have another relatively straightforward star, I think, compared to the other previous one, or very similar to the jet stream one. This time we're going to immediately go underwater with the shell, so this is a little bit different than the previous methods. But it's because we want to keep the shell for a lot longer, because we're going all the way to the end of the cave here. The movement over there was pretty complex. I won't get into it, but when doing shell movement, it's very different from normal movement. You want to be very careful about like when you're gaining speed, when you're losing speed. We also get a few little boosts from going onto these by going close to these corners. The walls can push you out a little bit towards the way you want to go. And you can still keep the shell while going to the chests. And there's something funny. So because of the water glitch from before, this is treated as like a water star grab. So normally when you grab a star that's in water, which doesn't really happen in too many places in the game, but when you do that, you don't fall. You just stay in midair. So it happens. And then you also get a down warp. And again, I wish I could explain exactly why you get warped down a little bit, but I think it's not too important. So yeah. Okay, we're gonna get one more star here. This one is a little bit slow because you have to watch this one. We're also gonna. I should mention. Okay, hold on. Before I say anything, this one we don't need to do water storage. All we need is the shell, and we need to be Mario to do a wall jump. So this one we could do just as Mario, and we're actually going to be back into this room as Mario. I should probably explain some more. Yeah, before explaining exactly, like, this star could be done as Mario. We're going to be there as Mario later on, and it'll be faster. But, we need to get a few extra stars as Yoshi, even ones that are slightly slow, in the early game here. Let me load a state to see that again, though. Okay. Yeah, let's watch the star again. So this is another one where we can start with a jump. We don't need Y-run for this one because we're not really going to lose speed. So the shell actually takes a little bit while to activate. So we're right next to the shell. Normally you'd get on this shell, but the shell is not activated, and then only on this frame it like activates. So you can actually get on it. So what's going on here? This is a glitch called a dive reset. So we get off the shell. We do a wall jump off this wall. And one neat thing about wall jumps is that you can do a dive at any speed after doing a wall jump or a triple jump. Normally, you cannot dive for any speed. You need to have pretty high speed to dive. But with this, we can manipulate our speed here. So take a look at our speed here. So we have a negative speed, and we're going to do a dive, and that makes our speed exactly 0. And this is yet another way to be able to jump in midair. So we do a 0 speed dive, which looks really funny. And exactly, so when the dive animation finishes, we can do a jump in midair. So you can even see that we're walking on this frame. You can do a jump. So the reason why this works is because, you know, if you dive and land on ground and then don't do anything, when your speed hits 0, Mario will like stand up again. So that's what's going on here. The game just decides, oh, if you have 0 speed and you're diving, then you can just stand again. It doesn't even check if you're on the ground. So now it's time for the glitch to get upstairs as Yoshi. So we want to get out of bounds by going up into a little glitchy pillar in the corner. The only way that Yoshi can get there, can get enough height to get there, is by doing another midair jump. So we're going to spawn this 1-up mushroom, charge Y run, and then do a side flip. And similarly to back in Goomboss, we can get 0 speed while eating something. I guess in Goomboss was making an egg. But since we have 0 speed, we can do a backflip to land in this corner. So other characters can just jump, do a triple jump to get in this corner, but Yoshi needs to do this midair jump to get here. So it's really convenient that there's the 1-up. Like, the 1-up is actually useful. It's so cool. But this glitch is sort of what defines a lot of the early game in this route. It says now we're going upstairs, we're going to get a lot of stars as Yoshi. This was a more C movement. It's similar to what we've seen before. I should mention here, since it's really not obvious what's going on, let me see if I can load this room. Yeah, so there's the door right there is the 1-star door. It's the character's room. So we're going past the loading zone to that. And then you can't really see here, but we landed on the corner where you can see the dust particles. And then we do another long jump to get into the door from behind. And so unlike the original SM64, loading zones do exist behind this doors, especially this one is really important. So we can skip the second key door without having the key. And so this means later on, when we do Bowser in the Fire Suit, we won't even have to get the key. Okay, but now it's time for upstairs. So for a long time, the movement up these stairs was just running up them. But more recently it was found that you can actually charge Y in here and then do some pretty specific long jumps. So doing a glitchy long jump because when we in the glitchy long jump, we'll be facing up the stairs. And then this movement has like very specific angles and Y run. So we get a specific angle, do another long jump here. And we want to land from this one pretty early on, so we're already on the ground, pressing Y again. And now we're, let's see, I think I have 0 speed, do I? Yeah, so we get 0 speed, because we're still like halfway up the stairs. We have to change our angle a lot to be facing towards the door. So now again, we're getting 0 speed. We can get a very different motion angle. So we're doing another glitchy long jump here, be going all the way towards the door. And then we barely land on the last step, so we can do a jump to get right to the door here. If we didn't land there, then we just bonk onto the wall before landing from that long jump. So there we go. And for upstairs, we're not going to do every course as Yoshi, because we're going to be up here later as the other characters. Specifically Mario and Luigi. So only stars that are faster as Yoshi we're going to do, and that doesn't include anything of Wet Dry World, so we're going to go straight to THI instead. So this is some of the coolest stars in the run are going to be in this upstairs section. Like, I think it's kind of cool that we get a lot of the really best stars out earlier, but it also means that the back half of the run it gets less and less less cool as the run goes on, I think. But anyway, so another movement here. This is also recently improved by Rupa. So we're starting with a jump, and we can barely do a long jump to reach this second platform here. For a long time, we thought that was impossible, but it turns out it's barely possible. So we're going to get piranhas first. So here, we have to get out of the range of the piranha that spawns. I can't really show. Basically, there's one piranha that spawns kind of just above Yoshi on from the current camera perspective. We want to get out of its range. And the way these work is we need to kill the first, third, and fifth piranhas in the first frame that their hitbox is active, because there can't be two piranhas spawn, or it can't be more than two piranhas spawn at once. As soon as the first piranha dies, that gives the third piranha the ability to spawn. So we're waiting for that to happen now, so we can have some time to charge Y run. So now the third piranha is spawning, and we can kill it on the first frame. Okay, so then when the third piranha dies, then the fifth piranha can spawn. So again, we're going to spawn that fifth piranha as soon as possible and kill it as soon as possible as well. So here's a different type of star cancel. So we saw some back in HMC where he fell into a pit, but now we're going to do this and fall into a pipe. So we're going to get some backward speed, do a double jump, stick out Yoshi's tongue, barely grab the star. We still have enough backward speed to get into the pipe. This is pretty precise. And so, yeah, when falling in, so the eating animation hasn't completed yet. It doesn't complete until we hit the ground in the pipe. And this allows us to actually take the pipe transition at the same time as getting the star. So it's if you just go into the pipe normally, then the pipe will activate before. Like if you just have a star in your mouth, then the pipe transition will activate first. But we have to end the eating animation in the same frame that the pipe starts. So it just means pressing forward or pressing some D-pad input on the frame the pipe starts. And so this causes another star cancel, right? Where you can stay in the level and still get the star. And also on top of that, this is also a star text skip. There's another star text. There's another text for getting 12 stars, and we skip that. So we actually had to we had to start this level with 12 stars at least, or sorry, at most. If we got one more star in JRB, then we would not have. Then we start this. Then we have to. The 12 star would not be able to get the text skip on it. But it's not really an issue. Okay, so now we're going to go set up for the Wiggler star by pounding the top here. But we're not just going to get the Wiggler star. We're actually going to do the tip top of Huge Islands and cancel that into the Wiggler loading zone. And that's a lot harder to do because it's further away from the loading zone. So in order to do that, we have some setup here. We're going to go over to this area, do some camera manipulation to get the fly guy in a very particular spot. So the fly guy is not even on screen, but we have to avoid him from moving too much, right? When he starts here, he's moving towards the beach. We want to not do that. We want to get his attention by getting Yoshi close before he moves too far away. So we kill this Koopa to get its shell, and then eat the fly guy while getting on the shell. So this is basically canceling the fly guy. Right, instead of finishing the eating animation, we canceled it by getting on the shell. But the fly guy is still in Yoshi's mouth. So we use the shell to get up here. So I think there was some shell hyperspeed back in JRB, but I forgot to talk about it. But here is also shell hyperspeed. So by going facing barely downwards on this slope, we can keep on getting speed. So normally this maximum shell speed is 262,000, but by doing this, we can get as much speed as we want. It's just completely unbounded. Normally, this wouldn't happen in the game because the idea is you'd have to be going downhill infinitely to get the speed, but you only have to be going slightly downhill. So it looks like we're going just in a straight line horizontally, but we are actually going very slightly downhill in every frame. So you just keep on gaining more and more speed. And a lot of speed is really nice because it allows us to get up this slope, because this is a pretty big slope. So here we do little jumps. And the jumps are nice because this is like sort of a 2-frame cycle. When you're in the air, you want to say that you lose 2,000 speed. I guess you don't lose speed in the first frame. So in the frame we land, we lose about 10,000 speed, but in the frame we're in the air, we don't lose any speed. So that allows us to keep a lot more speed. And even with all this speed, we end up with only 100,000 something when we get to the top. So we're still holding the fly guy. We can spit it out. So we got this flag up here in order to cancel the this star in the box. So there's a bunch of ways to cancel the stars. So far we've only seen going to the pit and going to a pipe, but you can also cancel them with landing on anything that will change your animation. So a shell, a fly guy, spindrift, and owls will all change your animation. You might be forgetting a couple things. So because, for instance, for the spindrifts and fly guys, you can cancel them because they make you twirl. So that allows us to cancel this star. So when the fly guy hits land, it'll start going in the same direction that it was when we ate it. So, and with also the same speed. So we ate it with pretty low speed, so that's why it's going so slow here, which is good, because if it goes too fast, then we don't have that much time. So we use a side flip to get the star so we can start going in the direction of the fly guy in the loading zone. And then we eat the star, land on the fly guy, barely, land on his feet, barely in the hitbox. And then since we start twirling, it'll cancel the star animation, so we can keep it in his mouth. And then very similarly to the pipe before, we can get this star animation to happen in the same frame that the loading zone starts. So we've canceled 2 different stars in the same level. Okay, so for the Swiftler fight, nothing too crazy going on. We want to just do every hit as soon as possible, and it turns out the first one, do a slide kick right to its face. For the second one, we need to start setting up the ending. So we do a flutter, and Wiggler actually takes a long time to get up, but this animation of getting up can happen while you're in the air. As soon as you land on the ground, then you can't move until he completes his animation. But if you're in the air, then you can overlap the animation. So that's why you can flutter here, without losing too much time. So we've gone all the way to the edge of the arena. And that's so when we do the last hit, we can flutter all the way to the center. That's where the star is going to be. And also because we fluttered for so long, his animation is a little bit messed up. And like the lower segments are, the back segments are in the air. So unfortunately, there's no way to cancel this star. At least there's no fast way. I'm pretty sure there's just no way at all, but... But this will be the only actual celebration we see in this level. So now we're going to get the Mario Cap. We're going to do the Koopa race, and Koopa the Quick only wants to race Mario, so we need the Mario Cap here. So we're also getting the 100 coin star at the same time. So we start with those 2 blue coins. And now we're going to do some nice movement up this slope. It's still stuff we've seen before, doing a long jump, and then holding B so we can do this punch trick to get up the slope pretty fast. And now we're doing a couple little kicks to change your angle. If we just walk normally, we'd start falling down. So we just do kicks to avoid that. And then you can do a slope jump and then a dive. So one nice thing is you can do a dive out of the slope jump at any speed, sort of like the dive you said from before, but you obviously can't get 0 speed out of a dive from a slope jump, as far as I know. But if you want after dive, you can do a wall jump. So it's a nice conversion of slope jump to dive to wall jump. And then we're going to do this slope side flip. So this is another tricky thing. In order to side flip, you have to be facing down the slope. So after starting the sliding, we change our angle pretty fast while still in the slide animation. And then once we're facing downhill, we can do a side flip. And this just barely lands on the ground there. And then a couple long jumps, which is somewhat funny angle to talk to Cupid the Quick. So when talking to NPCs, I think this is the first time we talk to NPC. In this game, it takes a long time for them to turn to face you. So we have to, we want to avoid that. So it's very specific exactly what angle and what position we land at here to save some time there. So during the race, since we have to wait for the Koopa, we have some time to collect coins. So this is why we pair up Koopa the Quick with Hunter coins. We're doing more Y run. I don't think I have much to explain here. This movement is kind of precise to get to collect the coin without falling down the slope. Here we just wait a little bit because we have to wait for Koopa. Okay, so here we can do a long jump and get in the wind to conserve some speed. And we're turning the camera here because we want to, the next Goomba, we want to avoid him from moving too far away from the pole. So if we keep him on camera, he's going to move far away from the pole, and we don't do that. So we only load the Goomba like right now. You can actually, there's something funny in this game. On the first frame, enemies are loaded, they're kind of colored wrong. I don't know if this is only Goomba, I don't really know exactly which enemies this happens for, but it's sort of greenish here, and then on the next frame you can see it's the right brown color. So you can see it did not even load until that one frame, so it's basically in starting position now, and it immediately gets attention. And then here we have to wait for the Goomba to follow us all the way to the pole. We want to get hit and lose our cap for something later on. But one funny thing is, after losing a cap, in a second we'll do that, your state actually changes between Mario and Yoshi, like many times. It swaps every few frames. And we need to still be Mario to talk to Koopa the Quick when finishing the race. So we very specifically planned this out so the game still considers us to be Mario when we end the race. So we're still swapping between Yoshi and Mario here. Also, we do a ground pound, and Koopa pushes us into the Goomba's hitbox so we can kill it. Also, while we're changing states. This is so precise. A couple times I tried to TAS this and I couldn't. So I think Adil is the only one who could actually manage to get this to all work. So on this frame is like the last frame when we're still considered to be Mario. So the Koopa is tricked. So we're all set up now. We already killed the Goomba, so the coin is already there, and the star spawned now. So this is such a fast way of killing the Goomba, getting hit, turning back to Yoshi, and also ending the race. It's really crazy that this all works out. Okay, so here we can grab the coin, and then do another star cancel here. So there used to just do a side flip to do this, but now we can do a sideways jump. This is something that also was found more recently by Rupa. This is actually maybe almost a year ago now, or I think more than that, but still feels kind of recent. barely making the pipe. This star cancel is one of the ones that's easiest to do on RTA, and that just means it's even faster. You can do that crazy method with the sideways jump as TAS. Like the one before, the Piranha Star, is far from the pipe, so we need to actually get a lot of negative speed and do that double jump. So one funny thing is after a star cancel, the coin counter is gone. So we had 45 coins, I'm pretty sure. We're gonna get some more coins here. Okay, so here's another fun mid-air jump where we're eating the Goomba, and then we can have one frame to do a long jump in mid-air. So this doesn't actually work on a lot of enemies. It only works on things that you swallow immediately. So coins, 1-ups, and those tiny Goombas. There aren't very many things in the game that you swallow immediately like that. Okay, this movement isn't too crazy. Do more cycles with this slope. And now we're gonna again do a mid-air jump here. So again, we're gonna eat this Goomba. And so not only do you get to do a mid-air jump, but when you're in a loading zone, it actually gives you control during a loading zone. So we just swallowed basically animation, and now we actually have control in the loading zone. So it's so powerful. You can do mid-air jump, and you can also move during loading zones. And this is just for fun here, but this will be essential for a few stars later on. Okay, so the coin counter is back. We're at 57 coins. We're going back to the beach area to get some more coins here. There's a really precise way to land on the Koopa, kill it, and then be able to just jump immediately afterwards. I also can't really explain exactly how that works. Normally when you try to do that, let's see what happens usually. Usually, I guess you get fall damage and can't move, from what I remember. But this was annoying to get. So we barely licked the Koopa. And this is the first, I think the first instance of a combo, yeah. So we make an egg here while jumping to the shell. And this egg, so this egg contains the Koopa, and Koopas give 5 coins, or a blue coin. And so for every enemy you hit, those will also give you a blue coin. So this gives us a lot of coins. So here we manipulated RNG for the coins to get to really nice spots. So yeah, barely get some good angles to get all these coins. And then it's a little bit faster to do shell jumps up the slope, but then we want to break the shell and just go into the loading zone here. So 70 coins is the right amount of coins we want to because what, like 26 coins in the cave here. So we use Y-Run again here. This is also recently found to be faster to use Y-Run instead of it. So sometimes Y-Run is obviously faster, sometimes it's obviously slower. In this case was one where it was not obvious and only saved a little bit of time. So the main reason Y-Run saves time is because we're going to do this ground pound at the switch, and then we can instantly accelerate afterwards. So we actually used almost all our Y-Run, which is, I think the reason why it was kind of tricky to tell whether Y-Run is faster or not was because there's a lot of running, and it was hard to actually keep all the Y-Run so that we'd have some left over by the time we hit the switch. But there we go. So do another glitchy long jump here, and then do a flutter jump to grab this ledge. So we collect the coin, and then that will spawn the 100 coin star. And then it actually takes a while for the 100 coin star to activate, so it doesn't really matter that we're wasting some time here on the ledge. So when you're doing a ledge grab, your actual position is on top of the ledge. So we're in the star's hitbox now, but the star is not activated yet. So we're just waiting for the star to activate, and then it'll activate, and we get the star. And we're going to cancel this red star as well. So we can do that by doing a slide kick to hit the wall, get some negative speed away from the wall. And then do one little jump and a lick to get the star. That's a nice quick way to do the reds cancel. You can also just go down to the floor there and do backwards jump. It's close enough to the ledge where you can do that. That's a little faster to do it like that. Okay, 2 more stars. The switch stars, we're going to do that one first. This movement is, I think, pretty straightforward, but also just really nice, I think. So here we're going to charge Y-Run again because we're going to do a ledge grab so we can get speed immediately. Unfortunately, Yoshi has no good way of getting up here without a ledge grab, so that's good. Then we just run to the switch and change angle really fast and do glitchy long jumps. So we do glitchy long jump there and then a jump going sideways. And then it's nice to have a different facing and motion angle here because that allows us to barely lick the star and fall into the corner of the pit there. So there's one more star to get. So this is also one case where it's surprising, at least to me, that it's faster to start with a short jump here. So again, we're going to charge Y-Run because that'll make the triple jump a little bit taller. I don't think I've actually mentioned that yet. So your speed determines how fast, how tall your jump, how high your jump can be. So this is barely possible to make it with just a Y-Run triple jump and not with a normal triple jump. So the strat for this star also changed recently. For the worse, I think, in everyone's opinion, but it's a little bit faster just to do a triple jump to get the star from Klepto. And then we're in just the right position to actually land onto this platform and skip the ledge grab. So there used to be a ledge grab here, and we got rid of that. So it saves, I think, maybe, I don't know, maybe around a second or something. But it was the best star was slower. And again, we can do another star cancel. So we canceled every star in this level except for the Wiggler. So that was the previously released stuff with a bunch of improvements. And now we're on to the newer stuff. So yeah, we're going to the Tall Mountain. I should mention we're skipping the Toad Star, which is right next to it, because the Toad Star did not spawn until you have, I think, 35 stars or something like that. And we don't have enough right now, so that's kind of unfortunate. It would be faster to get as Yoshi than any other character. Okay, so we're starting with the Lonely Mushroom Star. And to do that, we're going to eat a Goomba. And then spit it out barely so it hits the ground and then bounces again with enough speed. And we can follow it and do a long jump off it. This is pretty precise to get to work here. And then we can cancel this star as well by doing another jump off the edge. So this star is faster as Yoshi because we can do that star cancel there. We will also visit this stage as Mario because we're going to be upstairs as Mario, and so we have to think about which stars to do as Mario, which stars to do as Yoshi. So the next star is actually definitely faster as Mario, but we need to do it as Yoshi because we also want to do the monkey star as Yoshi, and we need to do the top of the star to do that monkey star. So we're going to do it with the cap, so that'll waste a little bit of time with the cap animation. So this is some newish movement. We're starting with some glitchy long jumps. Do a triple jump, wall kick off here. We land here, do another slope side flip, like back in THI. Barely land up here. and then do some jumps up on the side of this. So we're doing mid-air jumps here again, where you slightly fall off. After landing, you can fall off a little bit. And normally you can't really do jumps on this steep slope. But if you do a mid-air jump, then the game actually checks for ground underneath you. So it's checking for the ground, which is off screen now, but a little bit. But that, since you can actually don't do normal jumps on that ground, it allows us to do jumps on the side of the slope. Okay. So then we barely land on top of here, ready to do another triple jump. We do triple jump to land on top of the wooden area. And a jump kick here. So I don't think I've mentioned this yet. I did mention before that whenever you do a kick, if your facing and motion angles are not exactly the same, then you'll get 0 speed. And that's actually what's going to happen here. So we just landed from this kick with pretty different motion facing angles, and we got 0 speed. But here it's not an issue because we've Y-run. So this is another really nice thing about Y-run. We can do a kick like this, and then on the next frame we can just accelerate again. So we also just barely avoid getting onto the slope before doing this long jump, right? We can't long jump up the slope. So we land immediately on the slope, do more, doing a punch trick, and then a kick up here to get to the star. And when you go, looks like you kind of go through the fence, but there's actually just no collision on that side of the fence. Okay, so now it's time for one of the best stars in the run for sure. We're going to use Mario Cap, but we want to do the star as Yoshi with Mario Cap as opposed to just Mario. So this star, we're going to get the red coins, 100 coins, and also the monkey. So Mario's nice because of his movement. He's faster, he can do wall jumps and kicks, and this makes all this movement faster. Right here, to get these coins under the hangable ceiling fast, we're going to grab the ceiling, but then, let's see this again, actually. I want to see this previous frame. There we go. Let's watch the movement again. I think it's one frame faster to start this with a long jump off the side, which is kind of cool. So this is actually another instance of landing with 0 speed here, but since we have Y-run, we can just get speed again. And that's also, then we get 0 speed again, but then just accelerate. So we're really abusing Y-run, right? Getting 0 speed all these times. Okay, let me try to get a better view of this. So when we land on the, when we hang on to the ceiling, we get 0 speed. But there's actually, like so many other things in this game, there's like one frame, sometimes 2 frames when you can run. So we use that to use Y-run in midair and get back to max speed, do a long jump with the right angle to get all these coins. So that's a really nice strat there. I don't think there's very many places where we get to do a long jump off a ceiling like this, so it's really nice that it's actually useful. So we're skipping the red coin that's now at the bottom of the screen. We're going to get that at the end so that we can do a cutscene overlap with the stars. Double star spawn, I guess. Okay, so we're doing more movement that we've seen sort of before. So we all seem to be Mario to grab the monkey. And since the monkey takes a while to move towards Spot, we spend a little time sort of chasing the monkey a little bit. We have to stay at a low speed to follow the monkey at its own pace. So that's why I do this jump here. So also when we grab the monkey, the camera moves around so that it's so that Mario's facing the camera, and that is pretty slow. So we do, well, beforehand we have to move the camera so Mario's already facing the camera, and the text just starts immediately. And we have 1 unit of wire run remaining, which is nice, so we can accelerate after this. So while the monkey is moving, we can get more coins. And here we're going to lose the cap because Yoshi's going to be important later on. We used Mario for just grabbing the monkey. That was the last thing we really needed him for. So we're going to do a little combo with the Goombas just to get 6 coins. And now we're going to get some of the best coins in the star, I would say. So we do triple jump, and it's time for more of the mid-air jumping glitch. So after eating the coin, again, we have the 1 frame to do a jump. There we go. We immediately eat the next coin. Animation with animation. Do another jump, immediately the next coin. And once you get enough height, we can just do a flutter jump to grab all of the coins. So it's very amazing that we can get all those coins as Yoshi. You're normally supposed to have the wing cap to get those. But the reason why we get them is because they're kind of just on the way while the monkey is moving. And they're kind of slow coins. I guess they're not that slow, but I think if it weren't for the monkey, we'd get other coins instead. And so we barely arrive at the monkey when he's finishing his movement. It works out perfectly. Okay, so then we charge Wyron again and kind of activate the fly guy. I should mention we did a slight manipulation earlier with RNG and the camera to get the fly guy in a specific spot as well. But yeah, now the fly guy is going to the right spot. So this cancel is going to be very similar to the one in THI where we brought the fly guy close to the top of the island and then did this cancel here. So again, since the fly guy changes your state to twirling, it'll delay the star animation. You actually grab it after eating. Okay, so but now it'll get more complicated here. So when you land, if you complete the landing animation, then Yoshi will eat the star that's in his mouth. So we have to keep on jumping. Another thing is we want to change our facing angle, and to do that we can get 0 speed before landing. So we slow down all the way to 0 speed, holding B to have more time in air to slow down. And then when you have 0 speed in air, you can press in any direction and you will be instantly moving in that direction. So that's what we did here. So right now, yeah, so we get to 0 speed and then we face a different direction. So now we're facing towards the mountain. And then we land and immediately jump. So if we wait too long before jumping, then Yoshi will eat the star. And then here we're going to do something new. We're going to spit out the star during the triple jump. So spitting out stars works kind of weirdly. They're actually intangible. So they move sort of in the direction that you were moving in when you were spitting them. But they have some weird physics. They're actually intangible. Like you can see, it's not rotating right now. And that also indicates that it's not tangible. But as soon as it hits any sort of collision, so when it hits the wall, then it becomes tangible. At least I think the wall does. Maybe it has to be a floor. So it's still not moving. So you can't interact with it right now. Yeah, I think that's the floor from that it'll hit later on. So the trajectory that the star gets is also kind of weird. Sometimes if you spit it out normally, it'll go really fast, and sometimes it'll go really slow. So you have to have a specific speed to spit out in the right direction and speed. Okay, so now we're gonna enter this loading zone and eat a coin at the same time. And again, like in THI, when you eat the coin, when you get this frame of movement after finishing the eating animation, you can actually move during loading zones. And so for the THI pipes and the loading zone to the Wiggler, for those ones, you can eat the star. You can just fall into the loading zone and eat it. But these ones like loading zones sort of act as paintings. They have more of a fade out instead of the star swipe effect when you enter them. And for this one, the only way to actually get a star while entering this loading zone is by doing this glitch with eating a coin before entering the loading zone. So at the end of the animation here, we're pressing B to jump. And the star, if you look at the bottom screen, the star is still not really that close to us. It's making our way. So you have to be very careful with the movement here. So we're doing a long jump with the flutter. And now we're fluttering. As you can see, our speed's decreasing because we're fluttering. And yeah, it's kind of hard to tell exactly. I mean, it's obviously impossible to tell what's going on. Let's see. Can we actually get rid of some texture? Let's see. I don't remember if this is really. Hold on. Let me just save state. Let's see if this is doable. If I do that. I think it doesn't work. Yeah, so that way we don't actually click the star because I unloaded the star itself. Yeah, I don't know a great way to show this right now. But it's gonna be. I think it might be happening off screen. I think we're below the screen anyway, since the camera zooms in on the painting. So anyway, so many things had to happen for this to work. The star became tangible because it hit some floor. Yoshi can move during the transition because of eating the coin. And then we barely line up Yoshi with the star's trajectory to land on it. And it's kind of hard to tell we even collect the star, but on this frame, right before we hit the loading zone, you actually see that it does turn to 22. So we collected the star. Our count increased by 1. So this was really precise to get. This is not RTA viable. I'm pretty sure. Some of the star cancels are, but I think this one's too hard. We need some very specific setup for it. So yeah, this is what allows us to actually do the monkey and the 100 coins at the same time. It would be a really stupid combo to do. I mean, it's nice because you can collect coins during the monkey, but it's not really enough. But because we can actually cancel the star and do other things, we can do the monkey with 100 coins. Okay, so now with the slide, again, the coin count is gone. There's one coin here behind the wall that you can kind of get, and there's like you can see the sparkles, I think. Yeah, you can see the sparkle from getting coins. So we get that one coin there. And the slide is, I think, pretty straightforward. And the best way to do it is with a slide kick. It doesn't really make much of a difference most of the case, except for during the falls. It's better to be slide kicking. Oh yeah, and at the end it's better to have being a slide kick. But this is just barely getting all the coins and making all the turns. The 1-up, so we skipped 1-up, or one of the 1-ups at least, which was just too slow to get. There's actually some time during the routing when we needed to get that first 1-up. And that's because, so currently we have, oh, I'll actually explain this later on. I also can't really see this. Let me stop the script for a second so you can see the lives. So we have 2 lives right now. If we didn't get that 1-up, we'd only have 1 life. And there was an earlier route where we needed to do 2 more star cancels after this. So that would not work. We actually needed this 1-up. So now that we have 2 stars, we could do 2 star cancels. We only ended up doing 1 of the star cancels. So we only needed to take 1 death, but yeah, with the 1-up, just hit 0 lives. But yeah, the second 1-up is, the first 1-up is free to get, doesn't take any time. The second 1-up, yeah, it definitely costs at least 1 frame. I don't really know exactly. So we ended up with 97 coins. We have that last red coin to get, so there's fortunately 1 extra coin we need to get. So here's a a clip, which again, only for the reason for this clip is the only reason why you can really do this combination. So this is another glitchy corner like back in the characters room, where if we slide kick with a specific angle, we can clip through it. So the angle that you need is pretty precise for these clips, but they're doable RTA with the setup for their angle. And we fall into the wind, which is kind of funny. So we kill this bomb for the last coin, and then grab this last red coin, 400 coins. So here's a really very unique sort of time save here, which I want to mention. So find the right frame. So we're right next to a wall, and if you hug a wall, you actually instantly get 40,000 speed, which is 10 times the normal speed you get on the first frame of walking. So by doing that, we can actually accelerate a lot faster, which is kind of counterintuitive. Normally you'd think walls would not be useful for accelerating, but they are, and it's only in specific situations because there aren't many times when you're like next to a wall and want to accelerate like that from 0 speed. But yeah, I don't know if there will be another time in the whole run where we'll use that, but I hope there is at some point because it's pretty cool. And finally, we're going to do a glitchy long jump with enough speed to just do a jump afterwards and grab and eat the star and barely make it over the mushroom. And now something very cool happens. So when you die after going through a loading zone level, the game, and then enter a game, the game actually respawns you after that loading zone. And this isn't really supposed to happen with the exiting the slide loading zone. Usually it's only supposed to happen with like the pyramid and shifting sand land and the volcano and lethal lava land. But it actually works for the slide exiting. So we are right here and we can just instantly grab this star. So this is like the fastest star in the game, and it's another reason why like this combo is so good. So yeah, there was another route idea we had for a while where we'd actually insert another star between before this one, where we'd do another star cancel, and that was what I was saying we'd get a game over if we didn't get that one up. But it turns out it's not fast to do that anymore. I don't think I'll go into that more. So we're done with TTM for now. There's only 2 more stars to get there, but they're both going to be faster as Mario. So here is one case of Castle movement where it's actually not fast to use Y-Run, and that's because the spacing for getting 2 long jumps to go to the stores just works out so perfectly that if you have Y-Run, it actually is kind of annoying. To get to the door, you have to run for a while. So it's not the best, it's actually, yeah, it doesn't work out so well to actually use Y-Run. You have to accelerate here, but it does lose a little bit of time accelerating here, but it's okay. So now it's time for Snowman's Land. Another one of the best courses in the whole run. We're going to start with the Bully Star. Pretty straightforward. All you have to do here is have the right angle that's facing like exactly towards the edge to push Bully in the right direction, so he falls off as soon as possible, and then we can do a ground pound to get the star instantly. So next we're gonna do the Yoshi's Ice Sculpture, and there's a bit of an issue for the star. You're supposed to use Yoshi's Fire power up to get it with the Power Flower. But we actually haven't unlocked the question mark blocks yet. You have to have at least 10 stars and be Mario in the lobby to do that. And it's just really inconvenient with this route to do that before going upstairs. So we don't have the blocks activated yet. Fortunately, there's a workaround. And if it weren't for this route would not really work. We can instead use a Fly Guy, because actually Yoshi eats a Fly Guy, he can also spit fire. And it turns out that this strat is also slightly faster than using the block. But the main thing is also, without using the block, you actually skip the text that happens when you when you get the Power Flower. Every character has their own unique text that happens when you get the power from the first time. And this is the only time in the run where we really need it. And since we're skipping it, we can completely skip that text from the run. So it's a nice time save. Here we do some nice movement to get up here quickly. Just really quick single double jump to get here. There's a funny thing here where it looks like we're in midair. I think the collision is actually there before the block completely goes away. So we're not actually midair, but it looks like it. I think that's how it works. Okay, now it's time for another one of the best stars in the whole run. The 100 coin star in Snowman's Land. So like TTM had the slide and THI had the pipes, Snowman's Land had the igloo, so we can use that to cancel stars and stay in the course. So we're going to start with another combo. This one is a really good combo because so we eat the money bag egg, which gives 5 coins. We get it to hit all 3 of these spin drifts. But we abuse a weird glitch where if you get all the enemy to be off screen at the right time, then they won't die, but you still get the coins from the combo. So that's what just happened. So those other 2 spin drifts, the egg hit them, but they didn't die. So they're still alive, and now we can eat this other spin drift. So spin drifts only give you 3 coins. That's still pretty good. So there they are. Those spin drifts are still alive. And there we go. We get all these coins. We skip one of the coin because it's a little bit out of the way. So in this route, we spawn a lot more coins than we actually need, but we only get the ones that are close enough. So here we're doing long jumps on the edge of a slope. This is very similar to what we did in TTM up the big slope, where we're actually we land. This is actually true. Maybe we're not actually off the ground here. It's been a while since we looked at this. But yeah, we can do long jump on the very edge of the slope here, and then slide down here to get some speed. Hit the corner of this box, and then we're going to cancel this star with a shell. So this is wait, I guess we haven't done a star cancel with a shell before, but yeah, so this is since so we do side flip to get negative speed, lick the star, and land on the shell before the eating animation finishes. So like spin drifts or in Fly Guys, I guess you've only seen Fly Guys so far, the shell changes your animation, so it can allow you to cancel the stars. In this case, we don't actually want to travel in the shell at all, so we immediately break it, after turning around a little bit, and then spit it this direction. So we're spitting it towards the igloo this time. We charge Wyron again, and we're going to get a few more coins while the star is traveling towards the igloo. So we do another combo with this spin drift. We do the glitch again to have that last spin drift across the water not actually die. So still alive. And in order to cancel with the igloo, remember for TTM we had to eat that last coin, or eat one of the coins by the PTM slide entrance. Unfortunately, there's no coins right near the igloo entrance, so we're going to make some coins there. And we can easily do that by making an egg and then throwing it right in front of the igloo. So there's the star. It's like they're traveling underneath the ground now, right inside the ground. So normally to enter the igloo, you'd have to crouch, and you wouldn't be able to eat a coin when you do that while entering the loading zone. But there is a weird little clip you can do. So we eat one of these coins, get the other ones too, and we fall into the igloo. So we've activated the igloo loading zone now. We're still in the eating animation. And now we can, so now the eating animation is finished, we jump. And we're trying to get all the way to the star, so most of you just have to fall a while to get to it. And yeah, so again, like for TTM, we can see that eventually the star count will increase to 28. So we got that star while in the loading zone. This one's not nearly as precise as the TTM one. Okay, so now it's time to get even more coins in the igloo. This is some of the fastest way to even get coins in the whole game. So we're gonna use just more combos, and we're also gonna get the red coins. So this Spindrift was off screen, so it's still alive. So we had to get specific RNG for this. We're gonna eat this Spindrift. We're gonna move the camera so that the Spindrift corners on screen, but then also move the camera away so it doesn't die. So it has to be on screen for the egg to target it, but then we want to keep it off screen so it doesn't die. We can just lick the coin instead of swimming. Skipping swimming is really good. All these coins just landed off on the platform, so that's good. Like if you just do this normally, a lot of the coins are just going to end up in the water, and they're going to be a lot slower to get. Same here, so many of the coins landed on the ground. So we're going to lick this Spindrift, do a jump to get this coin, barely get those last 2 coins, do a sort of glitchy long jump here to grab the 6th coin, barely, and one more combo. You don't have to bother with the camera this time because it's the end. Grab the 7th and 8th coin and all these other coins, and it's a little bit faster, just grab the 8th coin by landing in the water instead of licking it, because you can do this nice water jump out, which gives you a bunch of speed. So we left some Spindrifts alive because we want to also cancel the red star. We used the igloo entrance loading zone before, now we use the exiting loading zone. This one's even easier to do. Still pretty precise, but this one was known for a lot longer. Okay, so we're gonna eat the star and then land on the Spindrift. So again, like Fly Guys, it causes you to twirl so you can store the star. Here, the best way to spin up the star is by falling into the water while doing it. Otherwise, it'll either go too fast or too slow. This is a good way to get the right star speed here. We have one more Spindrift we'll use. So like when we were entering the igloo, we need to make some coins near the loading zone, so we'll eat it while entering the loading zone. So we actually need to collect more than 100 coins for this 100 coin star. So we make our way to the loading zone. Eat the coin while entering the loading zone. Same glitch as before. And here we just actually have to wait for the star to come. It's always kind of slow, but it doesn't really matter much. As long as we hit the loading zone as soon as possible, we'll be fast. So there we got 30 stars. And this also skips a 30 star. There's also a tech skip for 30 stars, so we skip that. And there's a fun little movement here. We even collect one more coin, so we end up with 102 coins. And we get this Snowman's Head star. So this is the only one where we can actually get 4 stars in one entrance. There are ways to get more, but this is the only one where it's actually fast to get 4 stars. So that's why this star is just so incredible. And I also want to mention that we also got that 30th star on that star cancel. And after this point, unfortunately, there won't be too many star cancels for a little while. And in order to get that 30 star tech skip, we needed to have 30 stars by this point. So that's why we got a few stars earlier on that were actually slightly slower to get as Yoshi. Namely, the Blast of the Stone Pillar. Chill with the Bully is actually slightly slower with Yoshi. It's faster to use Luigi when we'll be here later with Luigi. And I think the HMC Switch Stars was slightly slower as Yoshi. So we lost a tiny bit of time. I think less than a second for all those combined. But we get to skip the 30 star text. The 30 star text is only, I think, around 2 seconds. So it does save a little time. Okay, so I think that's everything for Snowman's Land that I want to say. Right, so those 4 stars we just got had to be as Yoshi because that is so fast. In fact, that star I think is less than 1 minute and a half to get those 4 stars, which is really fast. Those are some of the fastest stars in the game, if you consider them as a whole. We also had to get this ice sculpture as Yoshi. The bully star we did not have to get as Yoshi, but it was faster because of the 30 star tech skip. The other 2 stars are not going to be faster as Yoshi. We're going to be here later with Luigi, as I just mentioned, so those will be faster with Luigi. Okay. So now it's time to unlock Wario, but before that, we're going to do a mirror clip. So this is another glitchy corner where this time we're going to do a long jump into the corner, and if you do it right, then you can clip through the top here. And we're going to get this mirror star on the way. There's a fun little movement here where if we do a side flip, then we can have a lot of backward speed while looking at the star and land right in front of the door. Then we can go into the Wario painting. So normally it would be nice to collect the red coin star, while doing this one, while going to unlock Wario, but Yoshi can't do that. At least without tunneling, which we're not going to do, which I don't think... I probably shouldn't even mention that, but that's fine. So here we're going through the wind to quickly skip some part of the stage here. Do more glitchy long jumps. And we lose some time here because we have to wait for a cycle of these blocks here. It's not too bad though. Doing a nice triple jump up to the slope and then doing a slide kick and then a long jump into the boss. And this boss is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is slide kick into him or just get him to fall as early as possible. There is one cool time save here doing this with Yoshi is that Chief Chili actually has different dialogue for every character, and it turns out that Yoshi's is only one text box, so it saves a little bit of time. The other characters are a lot longer. So the whole point of going upstairs this early was to unlock Wario. This whole route that we have revolves around unlocking Wario before Luigi, because there's a requirement in the stage where you unlock Luigi to have Wario to get one of the stars. So this is the best way to do that, but to unlock Wario before Luigi. So yeah, normally you unlock Luigi before Wario, but it's pretty cool that you can even unlock Wario for Luigi, but it's actually faster. So we want to go back to the lobby now. Fast way to do that is do another mirror clip on the other side and enter the painting. The reason why this is faster than going to Snowman's Land is because there's no star select screen for this course. For Snowman's Land, you have to sit through the star select screen, so it's a little bit slower. Okay, so here's something funny I want to mention. So before, when doing this movement to the 1-star door, we'd start with a jump. But now that we have more than 10 stars, the spotlight here is there, so if you press B, there's actually a text box that happens telling you to like use Mario to get to unlock, to go into the level. So we actually have to lose 1 frame here. So now we can unlock Wario. Unfortunately, we're not going to do anything as Wario in this run. We should immediately switch to Mario. And the thing is, we do have Wario's caps unlocked. And the only thing we really need Wario in the castle was to get into the secret under the moat. But as you'll see soon, we won't need Wario for that. So we're talking to Toad here, because that's the way to spawn the rabbits, which we'll need to collect the Shining Rabbit Star later on. So now we'll do Centennial's Silver Stars. This is just the best time to do it because we'd have to talk to Toad there. So again, we're going to grab a shell because shell movement's really nice. And like in DRB, the shell doesn't activate for a while, so the shell is still activated and only now it activates. So we're just kind of like getting as close to the Silver Star while still being close enough to the shell to actually get on it when it activates. And also we did a long jump when getting on the shell, so we have a pretty high speed when starting the shell, which is nice. So for here, you do some crazy jumps on the side of here. And so one also really nice thing about the shell is that normally when you get a Silver Star, there's this animation that plays of a celebration for getting it, but when you're in the shell, that animation is completely cut out. You just keep on moving. So here we have to build a little bit of speed in order to do a jump to the star on top of the tree. So barely get enough speed to do that. Here we actually have to lose some speed. So by doing a jump and then holding forwards, you actually lose speed. It's the fastest way to lose speed on the shell. Unless you're on a slope, but just as, yeah, I don't have a slope here. And we have to lose speed here because if you have too much speed, then we can't really get this star without bonking while staying on the shell. And then here, again, we're going to use hyperspeed a little bit, so we're barely going downhill on the slope, so we can build speed every frame. And for the last star, this star is slightly too high to just ride on the shell normally and just get it without jumping. But if you're on this slope here, slightly higher up, then you can grab it here, barely. Also, the star bobs up and down, so it has to be on the lower end of its cycle in order to do that without a jump. Okay, so now we're going to do a Death Warp, or a Hell's Portal. So in order to do that, we're going to use another glitchy corner. Do a nice long jump to barely just land on here, and then we're dive with the right angle to land on the corner here. And this causes you to fall instantly down warp to the death barrier of the castle. And when you do that, you spawn outside. So the whole reason to do that was to get outside. Here we go to the door, and then this triggers a Lucky 2 cutscene. This is required because the rabbit we want to catch to get the key to the empty room later on, like way later in the task, actually doesn't spawn until you talk to Lucky 2 for some reason. So now we do a long jump to get into the secret of the moat. And this is a glitch called pause clip. So right before hitting the brick, we pause. And then when you unpause, so right now the camera is zoomed out, and if you look at the top screen, the brick is not on screen because it's zoomed out. On this screen as well, I guess the control scheme is on top of it, so you can't see it, but the brick is still not loaded. So we can, you can see for one frame, yeah, the brick was not there. And similarly to the block clips in HMC, if the block is unloaded for one frame, we can go through it. So this is why we don't need to actually do anything as Wario. So there's two stars to collect here, the Switch Star and the red star. So here is some really weird thing where if you land from a long enough fall, you can actually do a double jump out of it. So we do that, we can't even really see the switch, but now we're landing on the switch and doing a triple jump. So I guess since the strat for TTM scale mountain has changed, this is the first use of really weird wall jumps. So let's explain what's going on here. So we do a wall jump. Okay, so I guess these are not the weird wall jumps yet, sorry. These are normal wall jumps. But now, so what happened here is we wall jump and then we hit the wall and get 0 speed. So if you run into a wall when you're in midair, you'll get your speed to 0. The cool thing about that is that you can change directions immediately in the air when you have 0 speed. So we use this to instantly change directions back towards the wall. And then we can just wall jump again. And we again do this again. We do a wall jump, get 0 speed, change directions back to the wall. So in order to do the wall jump, you have to be going downwards a little bit. So that's why we're not just immediately wall jumping every frame. But yeah, that's how those wall jumps off just 90-degree walls. You can even just do this off of one wall. Or, sorry, I guess 90-degree walls, what am I talking about? Yeah. That's how they work. Then we do one wall jump off the wall of the course, and then get to the switch star. Okay, and there's one more star that we have in this current TAS, which is the red star. You can use Y-run. This is also some really great movement. We're using kicks and punches to keep our Y-run. We'll need it all the way to the end. Do a glitchy long jump here. There's probably more to explain for the movement here than I know how to explain, to be honest. We do another kick to end with 0 speed, and use Y-run to accelerate again. And do another one here, another kick. And then do a long jump to barely grab both those coins in one long jump. And then do a big jump and kick to land on this platform barely. So that barely just works out. And then the rest, we can do another kick and a wall jump to land on this platform. Need more kicks to get this coin. So normally you're supposed to use Luigi's vanish power to get through here. We're going to do another dive reset like back in JRB. So we're going to do a side flip here. So last time it was from a wall jump, this time it's with a side flip. So we get a very specific amount of negative speed, and then we can dive. So you can instantly get to 0 speed, and then do a backflip through this hole. We got the star. So that's the whole work in progress right now. So that took, I don't think it's actually too bad, taking about 2 hours to get through all of that. I think that's pretty reasonable. Yeah, so hopefully I explained all the important things. I'm sure there's lots of things. I mean, obviously lots of details I didn't do, but I think all the important things I got. And yeah, maybe I'll do another one of these later on. All right, thanks for watching.